Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, my name is Lene and I'm a knitter from Norway, and this season that we're heading into right now I've been so excited for so long. Fall is my favorite season. It has been that way for so long, but also as a knitter I must say that brings an extra thing to fall. It makes it even better because I can get out my warm sweaters again, I can cozy up with my knitting again, I start working on warmer sweaters again, just all of the things I really love I get to do in fall. So I've been so excited and I've been planning a little bit here and there for all of the projects I'm going to do in fall, so I thought I'd share that with you. As I said, I have been planning a little bit here and there, but today I really sat down and I looked at my stash and I looked at what I really dream about knitting, and I've tried to kind of separate it into projects I have the yarn for that I know I want to knit and that I really want to knit in the fall. And then I also have kind of a wish list with all of my dream knits for this fall, but I thought we'll definitely start with what I have yarn for. And I've also kind of, as a mood board but just with yarn, I've gathered all of my yarn in here that I hope to be able to knit with this fall, and just looking at this gives me so much joy and motivation, and I've written down my plans here. But to start off, we'll start with my yarn with a plan, and I'm also going to try to go in the order that I want to knit them in. So First off, I actually have one of the projects on my needles, and that is the Levitate wrap, which I've been wanting to make ever since it came out, and then I just got the yarn this summer and I waited until fall had started to kind of make its appearance here, because I am making it in this lovely color that really reminds me of fall. It's this really bright color, bright red color, but it also has some sections that are a bit darker, so the variegation in this and everything just reminds me of leaves turning red and all of the colors you see in fall. So this Levitate wrap by Myfavouritethings.knitwear is my first fall project, and I'm so happy to have started my fall project. And I think this project, this cardigan, and the thickness of it and the color and everything together will be perfect for fall, and to have a cardigan that you can just wrap around yourself when you cozy up in the fall. I really love the idea of that, so I really believe that this is a perfect fall project. I didn't say what yarn I'm using to knit it with. I am using Drops Daisy, which is not like the intended yarn, but it's working out really well. So I'm using Drops Daisy in this really bright, almost orangey red color, and then I'm pairing it with this much darker red Drops Kid Silk, and this is almost like burgundy, but together, I was really worried about this combo, but together they make the perfect match, and it's absolutely everything I wanted it to be. So that's my first fall project, which I'm very excited about. I could not hold off until I'd done this video. But then we can get into the plans I haven't started on. And the next thing I want to do is to make an Elizabeth blouse. That pattern is by Petiteknit, and I want to make it in this red. As you can probably tell, red is a color I really think about when it comes to fall. Of course, the red is also very Christmassy, but I think red is also a fall color, so I want to make the Elizabeth blouse in this. It's a quite thin blouse or sweater, whatever you want to call it, but I think it will be great for like early fall or like the transitioning period. So I really need to get this on my needles as soon as possible, because I think like right now, the weather we have now, this will be a great sweater to have, and I just think in general it will be a great sweater to have. I'm also really excited for the Elizabeth blouse because I'll get to try out some new to me techniques to make the color, and I just think it looks really cool and sleek, and I've also been wanting this for very long, and I've had this yarn in my stash for a while now, just looking at it and knowing what I'm going to make with it. And I've always, since I got this yarn, planned on making something with it in the fall, so that's my first fall cast on after this, and I'll hopefully get to it quite soon. And then my next project that I want to cast on, a lot of these first one are selfish knits or self-care knits, but the next one is another project for myself, and that is the Zipper Sweater Light, which has also been on my list for really long, and this yarn has been in my stash for so long. I almost cast on for the Zipper Sweater Light last fall, but I ended up never having the time for it. But I've had this yarn, this Drops Daisy, in my stash for a year. I got this, or maybe a bit under a year, but I got this the week Drops Daisy launched, and I've been so excited to knit with it, and I still haven't gotten there. But I have been thinking ever since last fall that this September is when it's going to happen. So the month of September is dedicated to this Zipper Sweater Light. I am going to make it happen. I don't want it to be yet another year where this doesn't get to turn into the sweater it's supposed to become. So the month of September is dedicated to the Zipper Sweater Light, and I think it will be really nice. I even got a zipper this summer. I have a couple of other zippers, the Petiteknit ones, but I don't have one in this exact color, but I found one in this exact color, so I've gotten a zipper for this. So I am ready now. I just need to actually make it, and I'm also really excited because the first zipper sweater I made didn't quite turn out as I'd hoped, and it has a few faults. So I hope that this will be the perfect zipper sweater for me. And I have tried Drops Daisy in a couple of other projects, like the Levitate wrap, and it's such a joy to knit with that yarn, so I'm really excited for this project. But those are my two first cast-ons, and then when I've done those, I really want to try to challenge myself. I knit a lot using other designers' patterns, and I have a lot of fun just mindlessly following those. But this fall I also really want to challenge myself with knitting in a few different ways, but one of the things I want to challenge myself with is to design my own sweater. I just want a really basic one, but I got this double Sunday this spring at the Sandnes Garn outlet. It's this really beautiful lilac color, and I got this with the intention of designing something really basic myself. I'm thinking just a basic drop shoulder probably, with just stockinette, but it will be really exciting to see if I manage to figure that out myself. I have designed and just knit free-handed a couple of sweaters, but those have been raglan. I've never tried to freehand drop shoulder before, so it will be a challenge for myself, but I think that will be a really exciting challenge. And as I said, I want to challenge myself when it comes to knitting. I knit a lot within my comfort zone, so I don't feel I grow a lot as a knitter because I have so much fun inside my comfort zone. But this fall I really want to challenge myself and learn new techniques and learn new ways of doing things, and that's one of the ways I'm going to challenge myself. And then the next plan is actually not for me, and that is a gift knit that I'm going to make for my friend using these yarns. This is Drops Merino Extra Fine, and this is Kid Silk. Both of these are in, no, this is in light beige and this is in greyish, I think it's called. And with these I'm going to make the Augustins No1, which I've also been supposed to make for quite some time. But I think I want to do it this fall because I'm really, as I said, I think this will be a challenge. So that's ticking off a box I want to do this fall, and I want to knit it now, so I have it ready and swept in. I know I'm going to finish it in time for her 30th birthday. That's next year in the summer, but I want to make sure that I manage to knit this, that it turns out perfectly with all of the different techniques. So I'm going to plan ahead, and I also think lace is just, for me, lace and fall also fit together, so I really wanted to do this fall. It's not particularly fall colors because they are quite bland, but I'm really excited for it and to knit the Augustins No1. It's been on my list personally also for a really long time, so now I at least get to knit it and I'm really excited. I think there will be quite a few new techniques to me, so that I am really excited about. And while we are on the train with projects that are not for me, I also have another project, and that is in this other basket. I have a lot of plants and a lot of yarn, so I have the yarn a few different places, but I'm going to take all of this yarn. There are a few different colors, I don't know if you can see, but all of this yarn I'm going to take and turn into a Holger sweater. That is the kids' version of the Olga sweater. I have made myself an Olga sweater this summer in quite fall-like colors, and I had the yarn for the Holger first, but I made my Olga first, and they're not going to be color matches because mine is knit with just 2 colors and my son's will be knit using, I think, 5 different colors, so his will be a lot more fun and a lot more colorful. But both of the sweaters are going to be knit using Sandnes Garn Smart, and the same construction and everything, so there will be matching but not complete matches, which I also think will be cool, and I really hope he will like a striped, fun, colorful sweater. And I also think it will be really fun to work on because you change colors and you do stripes, and it's just a lot easier to see your progress when doing it like that. So that's a project I'm really excited for, just because I think it will be fun, and also to knit with lots of different colors and colors I maybe wouldn't have put together in the first place is also fun and kind of challenging my creativity. So that's another plan I'm excited for. And while we're talking about stripes and plans for my son, I have another striped plan, and that is the Friday Sweater Junior. The Friday sweater I just have to make in every size, and the size I'm going to be making now is the 3 to 4 year size, and I'm going to be using these 2 colors. I think that will be amazing. The red will be the main color and the white will be the stripe color. And I love broken rib. I've loved broken rib ever since I did the first Friday sweater. The Friday sweater is just amazing to make. The bigger the sizes get, the more tiring it is, because broken rib is quite tiring, but they're so pretty, so I just have to make them in every size. And I planned the colors for my son's Friday sweater before I made my Olga sweater, and as it turns out, they're color matches, so these will not be the same construction or the same stitch pattern, but they will be the same color, so we can match in another way. So that's also really fun and giving me even more motivation, because if there's something about me, it is that I'm a sucker for matches, just all types of matches, family matches, and just me and my son matching, me and my friends matching. I just want to make matching clothes for everyone I know. I want to make family matches for other families. Matching is my favorite thing. And then the last thing I want to knit for my son, I have already started a lot on his fall wardrobe, so I don't have that many plans for him, but the last plan is some pretty new yarn that me and my son bought. He picked out the color and the pattern, and this is Tynn Merino Ull from Sandnes Garn in their collaboration with Klumpelumpe. I don't quite know what this color is called, but it's kind of like burgundy. And this is going to be the Alfreds sweater, which is a really fun sweater. It's kind of like seed stitch, but then it also has 2x2 ribbing. It's a great sweater. I've only made it 2 times before, but it is really pretty, and my son just grew out of his last one, so I want to make another one, and this color is really pretty, and I love that we picked out the yarn and the pattern together as well. But those are all the plans for my son, and then I have a few more, I have another kind of plan for my son. I have the yarn for like half of it, so I'm going to count it with the things I have the yarn for. And that is that I want to make him a traditional Marius sweater. I want to make him in the traditional colors, and instead of like a round yoke, I want to have the like traditional one, but I know I'll have to steek then, so I'm a bit worried about that. But I have navy blue Sandnes Garn merino wool that I got from their outlet, so I thought I could make the Marius sweater using this because I have enough of the navy blue to make it. I just need to get some red and some white, but I have the majority of the skeins I need, so I think that will also be good. I also think navy blue is quite fall-like, and the red, and also Colorwork for me is also very fall and traditional sweaters, and that's also something I really want to get into this fall, doing more, and winter, and just this like knitting period that we're heading into. I want to do more Colorwork. This is the most intricate Colorwork I've done so far, and I had a lot of fun. I think this was last winter. I had a lot of fun learning all about the Colorwork and how to hold the yarns and the main color and the contrasting color. I had a lot of fun, so I really want to do more of that because I don't think I've done Colorwork since. So I also want to incorporate that into this fall. And I also have the yarn for a traditional Marius sweater for myself in Viking Garn Superwash. So here I have all of the colors. The only thing is that I think I don't have enough of the marine blue for my size, but this yarn is still in production, so I think if I get more navy blue, even though it won't be the same dye lot, I could use it for the ribbing. I thought I could use it for the ribbing or maybe the sleeves or something where it isn't as noticeable. So I still think that could work out, and then me and my son would have like matching sweaters, but not in the same yarn, but still matching, and Marius sweaters, so that would be really fun. And I think Marius is also a good way into Colorwork because I have done the Marius Colorwork I think 4 or 5 times before, and it's not that complicated. But I'd also have to learn how to steek to make the Marius sweaters I want to do, so it's like a mix between really familiar things and super new, super scary things. And I think that's a good way of doing it. I don't think I would want to learn both steeking and completely new Colorwork at the same time. I think I would think that's too scary. But yeah, those are plans that I kind of count as I have the yarn for, but I don't really have all of the yarn I need. And then the last 2 really planned out projects that I have the yarn for is 2 different pair of socks. And first up is the Sunday socks junior for myself in Perfect from Sandnes Garn. I made socks for my son using this yarn this Easter, but I never got around to making my socks before it got too warm, but I need this in my life now. I love wool socks, and especially the Sunday socks. I had 1 pair before and I wore them all the time. I lived in them. They were so comfortable, so I want this in my life now. So that's definitely something that's going to happen sooner rather than later. And then also these socks, and I feel bad for this yarn. It's been in my stash for I think over 3 years. It might be closer to 4. I can't quite remember. It's been in my stash so long, and that is Drops Nord in this pearl grey color. And the plan for this is to make penny socks, and I really want penny socks. I love the way they look. I think they would be amazing, but they're so intimidating. They're on 2.5 millimeter needles, which a lot of socks are. I've made socks on that before, but they're like foot length, not the foot, but the leg of the sock is so long, and on 2.5mm needles I just have not dared start yet. It feels like it will take me a year to make these socks, and if I just started the first time I thought these socks would take me a year, I would have had these socks for at least 2 years. Instead I've just procrastinated, and I still don't have the socks, but hopefully I'll at least start this fall. Please yell at me in the comments if I never start them, because I do really want these socks. They just intimidate me too much, so I haven't started. But that is the last of the like really planned out things. And then I also have this one skein here, this alpaca wool from Sandnes Garn skein, and this is to kind of represent all of the Christmas gifts I want to start making this fall. I don't want to wait until winter this time to start my Christmas gifts. I have made one so far, and this yarn I'm going to use for 2 more Sophie shawls, and then I'm probably going to make hats and mittens and socks this year instead of making people sweaters, because that is a bit too much for Christmas gifts, and I've done that the last couple of years and it just takes up a lot of time and I end up quite stressed. So that is to represent all of the Christmas gifts I'm going to make. But that being said, that is all of the plans I have yarn for. And then I have my dream list, and on my dream list I also have a couple of skeins that I don't have a plan for, but that I really want to make something with. And first up is this Petiteknit in this like really dark green. I don't know what it's called, but it's a super dark green, almost blue green, but really dark. I think I have 900 grams of this, so I can make a lot. I can make different things, and I really want to knit with it. It's a really nice yarn, it's a really nice color, but I just can't find a pattern that's perfect for it. It might be good for Colorwork and pairing with white. I've thought a bit about that, but I can't quite figure it out. If you have any good tips for Petiteknit or anything I can make holding it double, I'd love to hear it. So that's the first. And then I have these 2 skeins of hand-dyed yarn. It's from Sweet Sparrow Yarns, and these skeins just give me all of the fall vibes. So I had to show them. They have to be a part of my fall plans, but I have no idea what to do with them. I could do socks, as they are a merino nylon blend, but this yarn is too pretty for socks, so I don't know. I have thought a bit about making a t-shirt, and I honestly think making a t-shirt or a top in fall would also be okay, because this yarn is so fall themed, but I have no idea what to do. I could also probably maybe make a really like thin sweater that would be great for layering if I have enough yardage or meterage to do that. I think that would be the best, but I don't know. And then the last skein, this I have 4 skeins of, and it's also a color I think is absolutely amazing for fall, and this is Ask from Hillesvåg in this, like, I want to call this burgundy as well, I don't know. And this is for 3mm to 3.5mm needles, and it's 315 meters long. I have 4 skeins. I am thinking about a cardigan or a sweater maybe from this, but I can't really find the perfect one, and I would love to be able to knit with this without adding any mohair. I think if I would add mohair I could make, then I know what I could make, but I really want to work with only this, but I can't quite find the perfect pattern. So if you know any, please let me know. But this is just a couple of skeins that I would really love to be able to work with this fall. But that's it for the yarn. And then I have a wish list that is a lot. As with the yarn, this wish list is very loose. I don't really have concrete patterns that I know I want to make. I just have like categories I would love to be able to make during the fall, and one of those categories is cabled sweaters. I would love to make a cabled sweater, or maybe multiple, this fall. I think I'll have to go with one because time is kind of limited. I think cabled sweaters give me such fall vibes again. I think they really belong in the fall, and last fall I made my Moby Sweater and I really like tradition, so every year I make myself a striped sweater, and then I thought maybe every fall I could make myself a cabled sweater, but I can't really decide. I don't have the yarn and I can't really decide on which one I want, so I really want the sweater number 29, I think it is, by Myfavouritethings.knitwear. That's really new, and it's kind of like the sweater number 15 that's been on my list for really long, but it is a bit thicker, which I think is great, and it also has, I think, German short rows or just something with the construction that makes it look like it fits a lot better. So that sweater has kind of replaced sweater number 15 on my list, and that's a sweater I really want. The construction, the cables, everything looks so fun. I really want to knit that, but yarn and color choice and everything is really hard. And then another sweater that I really want to make that's cabled is the twist loop sweater. That's also been on my list for quite some time. I have gotten the pattern gifted to me, so that's kind of something that counts towards me making the twist loop sweater, because I already have the pattern. Don't have the yarn, don't know what color, but the twist loop sweater is also really cool, and it's the cables kind of twist in a really cool way that I haven't done with cables before, and you also do 2x2 ribbing, which I love, so I think that's a great sweater. And then another sweater that's on my list, but that's kind of what I want to knit the least out of all of these three, is the sweater number 20 by Myfavouritethings.knitwear, just because that looks so big and comfy and almost like my sweater number 14 by Myfavouritethings.knitwear, which I love. It's my most used sweater. It's absolutely amazing. And sweater number 20 looks like that to me, just with cables. So I think that will also be nice, but as I said, it's probably the one I want the least out of all of these, because I already have sweater number 14 and I think the other sweaters looks cooler, and like I would enjoy the cables on those more. And another category I have that I want to knit something with is color work, and I already have like kind of plans when it comes to color work, but I would love to do more, learn more, make more traditional sweaters for myself, because I don't really have a lot of traditional sweaters from Norway, and I really love the look of them. I just have kind of kept away from color work, so I want to kind of dive into that. And I have a couple on my list. I would love the Islender. I'll put in a picture. I love that sweater. It's been on my wish list for a while, and also this year my son got one for his birthday, and I'd love to match with him. My sister also got one for her birthday, so if I were to make myself one, I could match with them. And they also got it in the traditional like white and like charcoal grey color, so I think I would go for that. But as I said, with that as others, I don't have the yarn for it, but I'd love to make that. And I also think the Islender isn't that like complicated to make, so that would be great. And the other one I really want to make is the Setesdal genser. That is absolutely one of my favorites when it comes to the actual color work. It looks so pretty. It's also probably the most intimidating one, but I have loved the look of the Setesdal for so long. I really want to make one, but again, I don't have the yarn. It's probably the most intimidating one out of all of the ones I want, and I don't know if I have the time for all of these, but that's definitely a dream knit of mine. And then I also really want to do something with lace, like the Augustins No1. I want to do more with lace, but I don't really know about a lot of lace patterns, so here I don't really have any dreamed patterns at all. I just want to do more lace knitting. I really enjoy it and I want to do more. I want to get better. I want to explore more lace knitting patterns. So I'd love any and all suggestions when it comes to lace patterns, because I just want to see more. And then my absolute last plan is to make my fiance a sweater. He has his 30th birthday this fall, and I thought I could make him a sweater for his birthday. And I know a sweater that he's been saying he wants. He doesn't want a lot of sweaters. I think I've made him 3, and he thinks that that's enough. But sometimes when I make matching sweaters for myself and my son, he thinks they're really cute. And one of those sweaters is the Melange sweater, and he's said that he really wants a Melange sweater as well, so he can match with us. So that's probably what I'm going to do, and I also have to get yarn for that, but I'm going to do that. And that is Drops Flora in, I think, jeans blue or denim blue and white. So I need to get yarn for his sweater, but that's a sweater that I am going to make, but it's still on the wish list because I don't have the yarn for it. But that's really, no, I almost forgot another plan of mine, that the plan is for me to continue on. And I can't believe I almost forgot it, is that of course I am going to knit on my wedding dress. Last but not least, the wedding dress that really needs attention, and hopefully I'll get to squeeze in some time to knit on the wedding dress in between all of the other projects. And I'm really excited to see how many of these projects I actually get to this fall. I did try to think about that when I planned, so I wouldn't go way too overboard with my planning, but I think I ended up going way too overboard with my planning, even though I tried to not do that. But I'm really excited to see how much I actually get to knit from this list. And yeah, but that's all for my knitting plans. I really want to hear what your fall knitting plans are as well. I love hearing other people's knitting plans. It is a bit dangerous because I just want to put everything on my knitting list as well, but I would love to hear that if you want to share in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like and a comment. That means the world to me. And if you want to see more from me, please subscribe. Bye!